Well, hello there, You listeners. This is Julie, and you guys are in for a treat. So if you did not get to meet Mike Michalowicz, we'll have the phonetic spelling. I know we always get confused, but it's very easy. Mike Michalowicz. We had him on before. He was one of my favorite guests of all times. I have a rating that if my cheeks hurt, then I know it's an amazing interview. So I am expecting my cheeks to hurt. Last time it was 11 out of 10. I'm so excited because Mike is back today and we're going to have a frigging awesome conversation. And yes, you're welcome. So Mike Michalowicz is the author of Profit First, Clockwork, Surge, The Pumpkin Plan, and his newest release, Fix This Next. So just to fill you in, so you know his background, by his 35th birthday, Mike had founded and sold 2 companies, one to private equity and another to Fortune 500. Today, he is running his 3rd multi-million-dollar venture, Profit First Professionals. Mike is a former small business columnist for the Wall Street Journal and the former business makeover specialist on MSNBC. Over the years, Mike has traveled the globe speaking with thousands of entrepreneurs and is here today, virtually, of course, to share the best of what he's learned. We'll have all the show notes and his website with the right spelling after the interview. And so without further ado, Mike, I'm so freaking excited to have you back.
Oh, I'm pumped to be doing this. You know what's funny about that bio is as I'm hearing, I'm like, that guy sounds like a dick. And I'm just here, I'm like, it's all like, oh, he thinks he's so smart. And I think what I really need to do, because I typed that up, I think what I need to do is just share like the struggles, because that's the reality of our journey. Yeah. And I don't know. If I heard that about someone else, I'm like, that person's full of himself. But I swear, at least I hope I'm not. And hopefully have some value to share.
Oh my gosh. No, in fact, one of the things about you is you're always so vulnerable and open about your struggles. I mean, I know one of your stories was, didn't you like burn down a couple businesses?
Oh yeah, 10 companies I effed up. So so it's so funny. So I started a couple businesses ever since I was right after college. I started a business and I sold it to private equity, and I made some money. And then I started another company in computer crime investigation, and I sold that to a company called Robert Half International. It's Fortune 500, and I was like, at that moment, I was like, oh my God, I think I'm Midas. Like everything I touched turns to gold. Like I really thought I was like this amazing, superhuman human. And anything I touched, I was like, I'm going to start touching every business I can. So I became an angel investor. I started 10 businesses, and it was a shiitake show. It was horrible. Everything I touched collapsed. In hindsight, I call myself the angel of death because I was so bad at it, as opposed to an angel investor. But the funny thing, Julie, is that became, I call you Phoenix. That's your nickname. And you wear your bird. I love that. I think it's a cool piece of jewelry. And so I wonder if all of us have a Phoenix moment, or at least maybe we have an opportunity to see that. And for me, it was very obvious. I wiped out all of my wealth, financial wealth. I lost my home. I lost everything except for my family, which is a miracle, because I define myself, I think, as many entrepreneurs do, as the provider. You're a provider for your family and ourselves and our community, our world. And the one thing like I tasked myself with is the thing I totally couldn't do, or I didn't do, or my arrogance prevented it from happening. So that triggered a restart, the Phoenix. And I found there's this fascinating question. There's 2 of them actually.
Yeah.
There's a question that says, if you had all the money in the world, what would you do? Which is a great question because it allows us to fantasize and dream. Yeah. But it says we can only achieve that if we have all the money in the world. So it precludes us from doing it.
Yeah.
There's another question I found that's complementary, that if you have no money in this world, what will you do as your vocation? And when the answer is no money and all the money is the same vocation, then you found your calling. And I always wanted to be an author one day if I had all this money. And when I had nothing, I was like, I want to be an author, and I'm going to go all in on this, and I'm going to find a way for it to support myself and to be of service. Yeah. And so 12 years ago, I became an author, and it's been life-changing. And you didn't even ask me a question. I just started answering. That's
I love it.
That's me. You're like, hey, welcome to the show. I'm like, I got it from here. You just sit back. You
okay.
You little a margarita or something. I'll just keep on talking.
I got my right here.
Oh, nice. You are a boozer. I thought so.
Yeah. It's actually water and lemon, but
No, I assume so.
good for the liver. Good for the liver.
Yeah. Water called vodka.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Good for that liver.
I do the same thing.
Got all my things. Well, I'm loving it. If you just want to steer, I mean, shoot,
I don't. I can't stop myself at times.
You're hypomanic. Didn't we?
I'm hypomanic.
Yeah,
You know,
I know. I'm hypothyroid, so I know the hypo word very well.
what does that mean to be hypothyroid?
Well,
Yeah,
underactive. So
underactive.
Yeah, I'm an
hyperthyroidism and hypo.
Yes.
Okay. And what's the consequence of hypothyroidism?
Well, if you don't treat it, I treat it with all kinds of, not just medicine, but diet and
okay.
And it's your whole functioning system. It actually affects your metabolism, your cooling system, like your pineal gland, it all. So basically, hair loss, like not feeling
nice.
All that stuff. I think goodness caught it really early, and I was like, okay, I'm taking charge of this. So I manage it pretty well. Yeah.
Nicely done.
So you're hypomanic, which is,
I'm hypomanic. Yeah. So that I was telling you before we started recording, like, so my in-laws, they're both therapists, which is freaking scary when when you marry into this. It's constant diagnosis. And they're constantly they don't say it. Yeah. Fix Mike now. Fix Mike next. Fix Mike next. And so they'll come out and say, I don't know if you know this, Mike, but you have hypomania. And it's like, oh, okay. How long have you been diagnosing it? Oh, we've been observing you for the last 3 years. Here's our journal. And I've chosen to embrace it. And why not? Like, it is who I am. And my understanding of hypomania is it's one step below mania. It's an intense energy, but it's still channelable. It's not out of control.
Yeah.
And if managed appropriately, you become an overachiever. You can be an overachiever. You can do more than the average person. Uncontrolled, though, I think it comes like this ADD concept of just running but not being productive. So I think the awareness has been very helpful, because what I do is I set structure for myself to drive the results and avoid that kind of squirrel mentality. And like every morning, started this morning again, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. I'm with a group of other writers, and I work on my next book every day, every weekday.
Wow.
7 to 8 exercise every time. And then, because I put it in these kind of sprint, kind of controlled scenarios, I'm pretty consistent with it, and I get good output. Left to my own responsibility without any kind of channeling around that, without any controls, I think I'd be a mess.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're not, because you and your books are awesome, and we like need you to be focused. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for stepping up.
Yeah, right. You're trying to, yeah.
Stepping into your sprint. All right. First of all, I love the tree behind you. If you're watching.
Oh yeah, you guys check this out. I don't know if I can.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really cool. So that's there's the full tree, and it goes all the way down there.
Wow.
So that I found that on Etsy.
Wow, super duper cool. Shows all his books. It's like a tree of knowledge.
That's what I call it. Wah, wah.
Uh-huh.
It now sounds like the tree of ego. Wah, wah. But so this is ideal for any hypomanias out there.
Yeah.
You may notice, but some of the shelves have nothing on it, and it's hard to see, but there's probably about 10 empty shelves there. So I feel this compulsion now. I got to write 10 more books. Okay. When something's not complete, it like my heart starts racing.
Yeah.
My hypomania is always racing, but I feel compelled to complete that. So now I'm actually working on 2 books simultaneously because I got to fill that tree.
Yeah, that's how it works, you guys. Get a tree on Etsy, and you'll just need to start filling it with
It's unbelievable what you'll accomplish with a tree.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, let's talk about the accomplishment that just happened and that's about to be released. I'm going to just show it. First of all, I love the graphic, and as always, like, it's just witty. And I know you talk about side note, when you're writing a book, the title should really tell you kind of what you're getting into.
Yeah. So I believe, because you and I, we did that experience together with Author Up and talking about authorship. I found when it comes to writing a book, I think it's 4, maybe 5 title types, but there's what's called a formula title. So I wrote a book called Profit First. Profit First is a formula. It is actually the answer on the cover. Take your profit first. And once you do that, you have the solution. Formula titles are very powerful because they're easy for people to parrot. And there's that saying, don't judge a book by a title, because people judge a book by titles.
Yeah.
So the titles are very important. The covers are very important.
Right.
So I think another title format is called mnemonic. I use that. Those are more difficult. So The Pumpkin Plan or The Toilet Paper Entrepreneur, those books are mnemonics, meaning I'm associating a specific image with a atypical association, entrepreneurship, which becomes actually very memorable. When you link two things that aren't what you normally expect linked, they actually become more memorable. So that's mnemonic titling. The problem is I got to explain what it means. So you hear toilet paper entrepreneur, it's like, that's weird. What does that mean? So that's the risk we run. But when people understand it, it's very easy for them to parrot it.
Yeah.
Then there's result titles, the 4-hour work week, right? You will get to the 4-hour work week. And then there is the call to action titles. And that's what this book is, Fix This Next. Like, here's what you need to do. It invokes curiosity because people are like, well, what do I need to fix next? So it's the goal is to get people opening the cover. The question is that something that's parrotable? Meaning, will people be able to say, oh, here's what Fix This Next is about, and remember it? And the other risk I ran is Fix This Next is hard to say because fix and then TH, this, for the English speaker to switch the tongue from an X to a th is very difficult. So people have a hard time pronouncing it. So that's another risk I'm running.
FTN. We'll just call it
FTN. FTN's easy. Fix This Next is a little harder.
FTN. All right. Well, I love this. First of all, I will say with Profit First, I did read it, but I'll tell you what, like, I'm glad I did, but I think you could get it just title. I mean, there's
a title, yeah.
I was like, oh my God, that's brilliant. Just give myself.
Thank you. It means a lot.
Yeah. Well done. Tell us. Okay. So if we are to dive into Fix This Next, I know you have a lot of just nuggets that you teach, the hierarchy of needs. You even have a beautiful, I have it here. There's a hierarchy of needs. I was a psych major, so I love the Maslow. Oh,
the Maslowian. Yeah.
Maslowian. Maybe we start with the hierarchy of needs and then go from there into more.
Well, if you're okay, well, maybe we can start with what I call the survival trap, because
let's start there. Yeah.
Is that okay? Because it'll point to the significance. Okay. Either one's a good starting point. But
survival.
Okay, so I think why it's important to talk about the survival trap, because it's the first component of the book, and I think when people understand this, then it shows the significance and importance to know what to work on. Here's what I was whole thinking about. By the way, I emailed my readership and said, this is 5 years ago. It takes me about 5 years to write a book. I said, well, what is your biggest challenge you're facing in your business right now? Right. And I got all this feedback, and some people, the same people, responded the same day, perhaps accidentally because I sent multiple emails out, with different answers. And it became very apparent that most entrepreneurs don't know what the hell they need to work on. Therefore, the thesis of this book is that the biggest challenge business owners have is knowing what their biggest challenge is.
Oh God,
it's just lack of clarity. So that came, and that's why I revealed this concept of the survival trap. And you can do it in your head or you can do it on a piece of paper. But here's the concept. It's 3 steps. Step 1 is on a piece of paper or in your mind, draw the letter A and put a circle around it. And what that is or represents is where our business is in this moment. For we're experiencing economically right now, it could be crisis or challenge. But that's where we are in this moment. The way out of it, and this is step 2, is to draw an arrow, a short distance, maybe just like a quarter inch or something, away from that point A. And you can draw it in any direction you wish, and draw it out. Then now we draw a second arrow out in another direction, just to point that another choice would get us away from A, and do this like 4 or 5 times. And what you'll see is you can go in any direction to escape crisis. And that's both the opportunity and the problem, perhaps a massive problem. Because the third step will exemplify this. In that piece of paper or in your mind, in the bottom left corner, draw the letter B and put a circle around that. What B represents is the vital need your business has, what it needs from you now. Mm-hmm. And chances are those arrows you drew, none or few of them pointed to B. They point in other directions. And perhaps even some point in the polar opposite direction. When we are just in crisis mode, when we're just figuring out how do I fix my current situation, how do I get out of this, any direction is good. And there's immediate relief, but long-term agony because we don't move forward. And many businesses are in this survival trap. They just get out of the moment without consideration for what the business needs. And they stay in this kind of lost circuitous pattern of never getting forward. And the symptoms are like, I can't grow my business. I'm always working my ass off. I don't know why things aren't going forward. That's because we're stuck in this pattern of addressing crisis and not considering impact. So point B is where we want to go. And now you can draw, if you want, a channel from A to B. And now the consideration becomes much more simple. It's whatever the crisis or the needs are in the moment, we first ask, where's B? And if I make a decision to get me out of this challenge or crisis, is it also moving me to point B? And those decisions become this deliberate march forward. So that's the introduction of the book conceptually.
Love it.
Yeah. Then I can go into the business hierarchy of needs. I'm kind of like on this like platform up here now. From my stage. Hey everyone, thanks for coming out today. I just flew in from Dusseldorf. Boy, are my arms tired. Thank you.
I love it. You are so funny. Well, okay. Side note, I just want to say something. I'm sure you thought about this because, you know, we're in a challenging time right now.
Heck yeah.
You know, this is a challenging time. And I'm thinking this actually applies not just for business, but your health. It applies for other aspects of life. Like a listener could take this and say like, okay,
totally.
My health is here in A and I want it to be here. You know, I think this is so applicable, even whether you have a business or you want to apply to
the life.
Yeah, this is
no
great.
question about it. Here's what I found is most of the work I do, I start off with what's called biomimicry. I actually didn't do it too much in this book, but I did. Biomimicry is where you study nature's response to situations, how nature handles things, and then you find that the application, nature she spent billions of years figuring things out. She knows her shit. We then translate her stuff into the application for our needs. And so this biomimicry is actually the study of the human body. That's what Maslow's hierarchy of needs is. And I translated it into a business hierarchy of needs. Here's what I found fascinating about humanity. If we peel back the skin of humanity, like say me and you peel off the skin as draconian as that sounds, but you do that, we're actually biologically the same. Now, externally, what we judge people on is male, female, height, skin color, accent. There's certain parameters, but that represents 0.1% of humanity. The essence of our makeup, our biological makeup, is identical. And that's why if I was having a heart attack and I go to the hospital, the doctor, she doesn't look at me and go, hey, pardon me, do you keep your foot in your heart? I mean, your heart in your foot, or do you keep your heart in your ear? Like, where's yours? It's in the same freaking spot for all of us because the biological makeup's the same. Therefore, when there's triage or a need to care for someone's health, you know exactly where to go. You don't have to study the individual much. You just serve the disease. Well, Maslow created this hierarchy of needs, which points to the core makeup of needs to satisfy humans. The base level need is physiological needs. So you and I need to breathe air, drink fluids, water, and to eat food, right? That's biological. The next level above that is safety needs. We need protection from shelter, from harm. And then above that, he has what's called belonging. You can go all the way up to self-actualization. But what Maslow argued is that anytime a base level need is not satisfied, that preempts everything. The foundation must support the levels above it. Therefore, if we could be saying this is self-actualization. We're talking, high-level intellectual stuff. Right. And I'm eating like a hamburger or something. And I take a big bite into it, and all of a sudden, I start that choking. My biological response is to get that air, because I cannot get air, to get that meat out of my throat because it's lodging or it's preventing me from breathing. Right. My biological response is immediately revert to it. So the power of Maslow's hierarchy is that we are biologically and neurologically wired into ourselves. If you walk down a dark alley and you feel scared that someone's going to beat you up, turn around because you're about to get beat up. The senses are triggering that. The business hierarchy of needs I discovered that every business essentially is 99.9% the same. It's the skin we judge. Oh, you're a manufacturer. Oh, you're a business coach. Oh, you're a real estate agent. That's the outside, but the DNA is equivalent. The one fundamental and extraordinary difference between Maslow's hierarchy and the business hierarchy is we are not biologically or neurologically wired to our business. Sinfully, we think we are. So we say, I trust my gut. I need to sell more. I need to take on, right now in this crisis, I need loans and debt, more debt. I need it. And those are a gut response without understanding the empirical data. We're not evaluating the health of the business. We're just passing judgment on it based upon our gut, but we're not wired into our business. So the business hierarchy of needs is a structure to evaluate our business and apply very simple but empirical data to evaluate what our business really needs from us. In many cases, when we're doing gut instinct, we're taking an arrow from point A and we're moving further away from point B or in the misdirection.
Right.
The business hierarchy of needs shows you where point B is, and now you can use your instinct and guts to stay in alignment with where your business needs to go.
So aligning your gut instinct, your intuition, your senses, it's really then taking the aligning with kind of like, I'm A, here's B, this is where we need to go. You're aligning it.
Right? What you should be doing this presentation. Like that was it. How come it takes you like 12 seconds and it takes me like 15 minutes? We should reverse this.
I'm looking at the tree of knowledge. I'm getting
that's funny.
It's affecting me. I love this. I love the visual because you get, and maybe, I don't know if you want to get into it really quick, but you talk about this business hierarchy of needs, like the bottom is sales. Then
yeah. Oh yeah. You want to tackle that? Let's do it.
You want to just a quick, because I know we also want to talk about
the omen.
The omen.
Yeah. So we'll fire it off real quick. So the business hierarchy of needs works as follows. The base of every organization is sales. Sales is the creation of oxygen, if you want to equate it to Maslow's hierarchy. If you have no sales, no cash inflow, your business is suffocating. We are in dire trouble. We need to get that. But immediately above that, it's called profit. Profit is the creation of stability for an organization. Yeah. And sadly, it's already at these two levels that business owners, trusting their gut, get very confused. Many business owners think they can sell their way out of everything, that sales services everything, and it's not true.
Right.
Sales that generate profit and retention of profit bring about stability for the organization. So people right now with this, we're in a recession now with this COVID virus, businesses are saying, I got to sell more, or I got to cut prices in half just to get sales up. When the reality is we actually need to focus at profit type of decision-making. Maybe it's cutting costs, and maybe it's making hard decisions. Maybe it's actually finding where the bigger margin is. Maybe it's actually fortressing around our best clients and being of better service to them. Those are all profit decisions. The other three levels are as follows. Next level is called order. Order is the creation of efficiency for an organization. The mistake small business owners make is that they carry the business on their back. And in the very, very beginning, when you start a business, you have to. But that is not how you grow a business. That's simply how you spark a business. Yeah. Right away, we got to start putting in the fuel. And the fuel is technology, systems, people, part-time virtual help, full-time help, contractors themselves. Even our clients can be of service to the business when they're directed on what they need to do to serve the business. Well, that's what's called order or business efficiency. And the ultimate acid test is if the business owner can leave for a month or more, and the business continues to operate on its own and even grow, you probably have achieved some degree of organizational efficiency. The next level is called impact. Impact is the creation of transformation. Your company does this very well, Julie. This is where you realize your business is not about the transaction, but about the impact or transformation of someone's life. And for some, like Harley Davidson does a good job at this. They sell motorcycles, anyone can, but you buy a Harley Davidson, you now belong to a community, a family. You're a weekend warrior. It doesn't have to be about being family. It could be just someone, you serve someone's life where they say that this has been extraordinary. They value you beyond the commodity that we offer. And the highest level is legacy. Legacy is the creation of permanence. And what I found so fascinating about my research on this is the day you realized you were never a business owner. You were a business steward, that you brought something to life to be of service, and it never was about you. It was about it. And the question is now, how do you have it live on in your absence? And that's what legacy is. So that's the 5 levels. The goal here is to pinpoint where foundationally are we needed now. You can't focus on legacy and impact if you have no sales. So we revert there. You can't bring efficiency if there's no sustainable profitability. So we always revert to the base, shore it up, and then we start aspiring up to higher levels. And when the base is compromised, we go back to the base and start building up again.
I love this. I love the way that you structured this. And frankly, I mean, I just really quick, I can relate. My instinct is always impact and legacy.
Oh yeah, totally. I know it.
So I've had to in my past be like, okay, but I won't be able to do that if I don't have oxygen. I don't have oxygen. So it's been for some of us, I think, and I'm imagining a lot of people listening will relate to that. Like, but I just want to help and I want to transform. And so I love what you're saying, because we had to train ourselves to go back to, it's like, I can't do all this if I'm not fed, if I'm not sleeping, if I don't have a home.
My mother always said, Mike, you have to give to get. And I hate to do this on a public broadcast, but Mom, you're a bullshitter. It's not give to get, it's get to give.
Yeah.
You need to get in order to give.
Yeah.
So if we want to be contributors, and not-for-profits are notorious for this, we have this great vision, how we're going to be of service, how we're going to serve our community or our world.
Yeah.
And we don't worry about the base. We don't worry about sales, or in their case, contributions. We don't worry about efficiency or sustainability. It's all about giving. And we give until it hurts. So that's actually the term we use. And it hurts real bad because the business falls under its own weight so quickly. So this great idea can never be served any significance.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of for-profit businesses are really not for profits because they're focused on serving without caring for the organizational health. So you have to get sales in. It's the only way to bring about sustainability. You have to be profitable. It's the only way you can expand your giving. And you have to have order and efficiency, because if it's all dependent upon you, it's going to cap out very quickly. So you have to get those in place in order to have the impact you want to have.
Love it. Oh, I love it. Thank you. That was like, yeah, I feel like I want to like go get a rally.
Sell, baby, sell.
Yeah, sell more. Right. Right. Exactly. Well, I have this thing, selling is love. That helps me.
So I think selling is our obligation. It is love, because listen, if you're not out selling, Julie, someone else is. And sadly, there's some unscrupulous people out there that have no problem selling like crazy, and they're selling bad stuff or stuff that is of disservice. They're being opportunistic. They're taking advantage of people that are disadvantaged. If you're a good person, and you are a good person, but if someone listening is a good person and has a product that offers true value or offering, you have to sell it, because if you don't, someone else will. That customer's buying. There's no question about that. The question is who they're buying from. And if you're not standing up and stepping forward, they're not getting noticed. They're getting taken advantage of. So damn it, you got to sell.
Yeah, this is so great. No, I'm so glad we focused in on that. Let's talk about the omen.
Yeah. So the challenge we did in the survival trap was, we knew, we're in a crisis. The question was, what do we need to do? Where point B is, and the the business hierarchy of needs points to what. Now the question, of course, is how, and that's what omen is. Omen's an acronym for how you get through resolving the challenge that you're facing. And it's always 4 components. One is a clear objective. That's the O for omen. What are we trying to do here? I want more sales, meaning I want more customers. And the more specificity, the better. And I explain in the book the way to specify, but I need more prospects. The M stands for measurements. How do we qualify if someone's a good prospect? Well, they better, have at least $100,000 in revenue or something if they're a B2B. They need to be, and you specify the avatar effectively for the prospect. But you also measure what is a successful result if you achieve this objective. If I get 10 prospects a week, that's success. So those are the measurements. E stands for evaluation frequency. Our businesses know about setting an objective and measurements, but they forget this step. How often am I going to check in to see how I'm doing in my progress? Many businesses kind of set it and forget it. They say, we need 20 prospects a week. And then a year later, like, oh, we never achieved that goal. We need to set up a regular check-in. You put in your calendar saying, this is when we're evaluating our progress. The last component, very, very few businesses do, and it's nurture. Nurture is where we reevaluate our initial considerations and tweak them accordingly. Maybe the objective we set was wrong. Maybe we only had a certain set of information, but new information revealed itself, and I got to reset the objective. Maybe the measurements aren't of any help. Maybe the frequency I'm checking in should be more frequent or less. And maybe there's all new things I should do together. Nurturing also is, if you have a team, is where we engage the front line. The people closest to the problem usually have the best solutions. It's not the owner of the business. It's the people that are delivering on the promise. So nurturing happens throughout, but it's giving ourselves the flexibility to enhance and improve as we see things along.
Kind of being adaptable, but also smart about it.
Exactly.
Love that.
Why aren't you doing all this stuff? Like, you say it in 2 words now. It took me 5 minutes. Adaptable and smart. Is that what you mean? Yes. Yes.
Oh, so funny. I'm actually hypomanic as well. I didn't even tell you this. So
are you seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, now you're a soul sister.
Yeah. No, I didn't want to steal your thunder, but no, I was like, I got my books, no tree. I'm like, no, I get it. I'm the same. I actually understand that. I've had to, there's actually a lot of energy that's expended with that. So I get it. It's like, you got to just focus it. Otherwise.
Oh yeah. Otherwise. So here's the deal. Tomorrow, 6 a.m. Let's start writing. 7, let's go for a run.
Yeah.
8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. Go see your family. Take care of them. 8:15. Get back to work.
Yeah. You got to that was my word for the year, is focus and discipline.
That's awesome.
Get into that. Yeah. So I'm with you. You are a brother from another mother.
You're a sister from another mister. Thank you.
You are awesome. I just want to show everyone, this is Mike Michalowicz will have the phonetical spelling of his last name. Fix this next. I love, love, love. I love how you just explained it. So just making it easier, because actually as a business owner, I got to tell you, that question that you got, that has been one that I've had to come back to. What is the biggest challenge? That's
Yeah, right. Totally. It's the biggest challenge is knowing our challenge.
You just want to just lie down and take a nap.
I hear you. Yeah. So the funny thing is, when we don't know our biggest challenge,
Yeah.
that is when paralysis kicks in. We start,
Yeah.
sometimes the best solution feels like doing nothing, and that becomes a trap too.
Yeah. Totally.
If I may, I set up a resource to do, okay. So at fixthisnext.com, that's the site to go to. There, we just activated it this morning as of this recording. It says free evaluation, or take the evaluation. It's totally free.
Nice.
You can evaluate where your business needs the fix right now. And the evaluation takes less than 5 minutes. There's no email. It presents it on the screen for you. You don't even need the book. But if people are kind of that feeling of like, what do I do? I think that's the best resource I can offer.
Amazing. Amazing. So fixthisnext.com, free evaluation. I'm like, when we're done, I'm going right there.
Yeah. Tell me how it goes. I'm curious. When you do it, tell me what it's called the vital need. Tell me what your vital need is.
I will tell you. Okay. Oh my God. You are awesome. So fun. Is there anything else? Any other words of wisdom, just from general, like Mike library of wisdom, tree of knowledge?
Okay. So here's my observation, and maybe it's a rah-rah, but it's to me, it's the absolute reality. So here's the vision, or the visual I have. The world with COVID and the recession, I see it as just punching us in the face, as hard with all the strength the world could muster. And we have a broken, bloody nose. We have a black eye. And the world says, while it's punching us, I need you in the worst way. Please help me. So it's bizarre, but the world truly needs small business owners, professionals, more than ever now. And yet we're bloodied. So I know it's unfair, but we got to step up. We got to step forward, and we got to start kicking some ass. So I'm just wishing, for anyone that's listening in, I am wishing you tremendous success, tremendous wealth, and tremendous health in these situations.
Well said. I'm just picturing everyone with a bloody nose right now listening.
Yeah, but marching forward and saying, let's go forward.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy, but it's necessary.
Yeah. Way to go. No, I love it. And really focusing on, like, how can I turn this into something that's going to be, in the end, I'll look back and say, like, you know what? I grew this way. I shifted this way. That's awesome. Well, it is so fun. My cheeks are hurting, which tells me.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah, they are. It's so funny. I need like some ice after my interviews with you. It's like I need to ice my cheeks on my face.
I was like, I was like thinking of all these different things to do. Cause I mean, if you're not laughing, one of the things I'll show you, I was going to do the elevator trick. Like, I was like, I got to make her laugh now. I feel so compelled. So I was gonna do one of these moves where it's like, it's like.
You guys got to watch this one on YouTube. You're so funny. That's well done. You did the elevator.
Yeah, reverse. Yeah, I hit the button. It reversed me. Yeah, it's like, what can I do to make her laugh now? The funny thing is, like, I'm not. When someone says you're funny, I'm like, I'm average funny. When someone says you're funny, then there's this compulsion I have, like, I have to be funny now. Like, what? And then it becomes like so not funny. That's the irony.
I set you up a little, but you
set me up to be not funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you delivered. And I mean, all we got to do is just try to spell your last name, and it's all good.
That alone's funny. Yeah.
Good. You are awesome. I just honestly love who you are in the world. I love your vulnerability, your authenticity. I think you are a, how would I say this? This will be a little woo, but a badass light worker, Mike Michalowicz.
I'll take that all day long, sister. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're so lucky to have you again today, and I'm going to go get some ice now.
Okay. I'll see you.
Yay.